Welcome. I'm Mr. Valentino, Supervisor of Guidance for Clayton High School, and thank you for viewing my Clayton High School Senior College Planning Parent Presentation. Let's get started. So first, our counseling department and the people that are in the counseling department. I already introduced myself. Counselors are Mr. Tyler Fruits. He has all the students with last names A through K. Ashley Smith has all the students with last names of L through Z, and our secretary, Miss Mary Hartley. So let's talk a little bit about what we've done with the senior class up to this point. So last year we did presentations in junior English classes talking about the college, things that will relate to juniors for the college application process at the time. Okay, and then the counselors also met with the juniors individually to kind of fine-tune their individual plans and see what they can help them with individually. Then this year, we went into the senior English classes to really get into the nuts and bolts about how you apply to college and let seniors know how they're going to be applying to college. A lot of what I'm going to share in this presentation here. So a few things that the seniors will need to get in order here. First and foremost is to sign a virtual transcript release form. This is a link that we're going to be sending to all the seniors. If your child is over 18, they are a legal adult and have to release they are responsible to release their own transcript as far as the release form, to sign the release form. And if they are under 18, then a parent's got to sign. Also, want to start looking at and securing letters of recommendation via school links. School links, I'll go into a lot in this presentation. It's replacing something we had last year called Naviance, and we essentially use it for a lot of jobs, and including a lot of jobs dealing with college applications. Reviewing college application details and deadlines, certainly, okay, because the colleges are not very forgiving if you miss a deadline or for an application deadline. Go into collegeboard.org to forward official SAT scores if needed. You'll find that more and more schools are going SAT optional, but if certainly school needs the SATs, that is something that the student has to do on their own by going to College Board. It's very easy. We can help them if they have a problem with doing that. And then this one, very big, make a calendar with dates and deadlines. It's really great to have kind of that all laid out for all the colleges, especially if the student is applying to a lot of colleges, okay? Just so, again, a deadline and a date doesn't sneak up. And then certainly feel free to email Mr. Fruits and Ms. Smith with any questions that you have. Okay, so let's start with processing the two-year college application. And actually, we're going to concentrate on RCSJ, Rowan College of South Jersey. Now, there are other two-year colleges, but I would say the majority of our students when going to a two-year college are going to RCSJ. And the nice thing about that is we have a really great streamlined process with RCSJ. I've been doing this 4 years with them. They have a great program as far as college admissions. So, priority admissions program. Actually, to start, there is a meeting on Thursday, October the 23rd. And that's at 8:30. No need to do anything. Every single senior is going to be called down to that meeting. And we actually have every single senior, whether they had different plans or not, fill out an application for RCSJ. The idea behind that is if they are not planning to go to RCSJ or have other plans, then really that application doesn't go anywhere. There's no cost to it. Basically, they just drop. It's good for up to 5 years, I believe, but they can just basically, nothing will happen if they don't go to RCSJ. So it's always a good backup plan so that if things change and the student wants to go to college or their primary choice doesn't work out, they know they have RCSJ in the back pocket, so to speak, that they can go there. No SAT or ACT scores. They're required for admission, but some programs. Some special programs use that for placement. Okay, so you're going to want to check with the school counselors on that, definitely to make sure not required for admissions, but maybe used for placement special programs, and then no recommendations are necessary. So if just RCSJ is definitely the plan, then you won't need any letters of recommendation. Now, the 4-year college application, okay, there's some things here that they need to take care of. Certainly, first and foremost, all the applications will have an online application. There may be a couple out there still with a paper application, but paper applications have really been gone for years now, okay? But online application and official transcript, those are the two definites, okay? And again, I talked a little bit earlier about the official transcript. In order for us to release a transcript to a college or other places for that matter, we need that transcript, virtual transcript release form signed, okay? Then we get into some things that we're going to say it's if it's required, all right? SAT and ACT scores, as I said, and I'll talk a little bit later on another screen about the difference between the SAT and the ACT. But many schools are going SAT and ACT optional. There are still some that require the SAT and ACT, and there's some that may not require it for admissions, but would want you to have an SAT or ACT score for scholarship purposes. Okay, so never hurts to sit for the SAT, okay, or ACT, to get a set of scores so that you have them. Letters of recommendation, again, if required. Some schools want them, some schools don't. No schools that I know of want any more than 3 letters of recommendation. Some require one specifically from a school counselor, which is no problem. Our school counselors are very skilled in writing letters of recommendation. But again, check the requirements of each college, because some colleges do not require letters of recommendation. Again, college essay, that's something if it's required. Some colleges want to see kind of a sample writing or to write on an essay question. Some do not. And then an application fee. So this is a fee, basically a processing fee, application fee, just for applying. It can range anywhere between $50, $60, $70. Okay, so it can add up if the students are applying to a lot of different colleges. However, I will tell you a little secret. If you go to the college on a visit, often if you come to many colleges are coming here to visit with our students, very often they will give application fee waivers just because you're going to hear something about that college. Okay, so just a little tip that sometimes you can get these application fee waivers, and it can save you a little bit of money with the application process. Next, we're going to talk about using the Common Application. So the Common Application, almost as the name kind of implies, is an application that many a college will use for their application, okay? Therefore, the advantage there, a student can fill it out once, and then the work is done, they can send it to many different colleges, okay? So, but make sure that because not every college uses the Common App. Make sure that the colleges that the senior is applying to accept the Common App, and then some schools only use the Common App for their application process. An example of that is right in our backyard, Rowan University. Okay, the Common Application can be accessed through commonapp.org, but this last one's the most important. Please, I highly recommend that your child, if they're going to use the Common Application, please see Mr. Fruits or Ms. Smith with any questions, and also please let them know, because there is a linking process with the Common Application to school links, okay, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. And actually, we're going to talk about it now. So here is the login page for school links, okay. Very easy process. All of the seniors at this point have accessed school links. We actually did that at the end of junior year. That was one of the things we did when the counselors visited the junior English classes. Okay, so a lot of jobs we do with school links. Certainly we're tracking all college applications through there, letters of recommendation through there. Okay, they can do a college search through there, and many of other things. Okay, so definitely you can talk to your child about school links. Very easy. They log in just how they log into Google. And again, we're going to use that for a lot of things this senior year, no doubt. Okay, a little bit about the standardized tests, the SAT and the ACT. So essentially what these are is they are tests that colleges can use as far as making decisions, as far as a score, I guess you could say, as far as how or what the student knows and their different levels of achievement and things like that, okay? The SAT and ACT, they're always given on a Saturday. They are not, the national dates are never the same. So a student never has to worry about choosing between the SAT and the ACT. So the SAT, as you see on the screen here, is a reasoning test. It measures critical reading, math, and writing. The ACT is an academic achievement test in the areas of math, English, science, reading, and writing. There is an equivalency chart where getting a certain score on the SAT is the equivalent of getting a score on the ACT, like that, and vice versa. Okay. I've had parents ask me which one should they take. Really, it really is just taking either one or both. Just puts another weapon in the student's arsenal for college admissions. Most colleges will take the higher either or, what reflects best for the student. Okay, and like I said, there is an equivalency chart, so they can kind of know the equivalency for the two. So really no harm in taking really both as far as and the SAT is a little more known here on the East Coast. Believe it or not, the ACT is a little more known out like in the middle of the country in the West Coast, okay, but both serve the same purpose, I guess is what I want you to get as far as a test to help you with college admissions. So very important, the student must send their SAT scores, ACT scores directly to the colleges, okay, electronically. They no longer want them sent by paper or pencil. They don't want us calling with them. It's a security issue with it being sent electronically. They know nothing has been tampered with. You see the websites there, collegeboard.org for the SAT and www.act.org for the ACT. Okay, so again, we can help the student with that process if they get confused. It's very easy to do on those websites, okay, to send out scores. But again, that is something that the student is responsible for, sending their own SAT or ACT scores to the colleges. So we get some helpful hints here, okay? First one, consult. Make sure that the student is consulting school links regularly for updates. I'm going to give you an example. We have colleges signing up all the time for college visits here at Clayton High School, okay? Again, that's happening all the time right now through the fall. So if the student is checking that, they can sign up for these college visits. They have to sign up for them through school links, okay? So again, that is kind of updating, sometimes almost daily. So just making sure that they are checking school links for that and any other updates that we would be doing. Okay, I mentioned there about signing up for our college rep visits through school links. Proofreading applications. This it seems like a small step, but it could be really, really important. It only takes a few errors for a college admissions rep to maybe take the application and put it from the A pile into the B pile, so to speak. If they see some errors, never hurts to give it the once over. Maybe have somebody else give it the once over, just to look for any kind of errors in the application. And then this last one, allowing 2 weeks to process any application, okay? This deadline is very important because I can tell you that my counselors work very, very hard to get things out in a timely fashion for students, but it really puts the counselors in a bind if a student says, yes, Mr. Fruits, I'm applying to this college, and today is April 30th, and we ask when the deadline is, and the student says, well, it's May 1st, okay? That puts the counselor, puts Mr. Fruits in this case, in a very big bind to get everything ready, what he needs to do for that college application. So follow that 2-week processing span there, okay? So for example, if it's a December 1st date, and the application due date, make sure you're talking about like November 15th, the student getting everything ready by then. If it's a March 1st, make sure middle February, February 15th, okay, getting everything processed. If you follow that 2-week span of time, that should be plenty of time. So now we're applying to college. Let's talk about the paying for college, which certainly the less money you have to pay is always better. And with that, we can talk about here with the next screen, scholarships. All right, so scholarships are things that certainly can help with paying for college. Okay, and there's several different kinds of scholarships that you can have here. So college-based scholarships, these are also a lot of times called merit scholarships. They're generally awarded on the basis of minimum SAT score and high school GPA off the transcript, okay? So again, this might be something where a college says we don't use SAT for admissions, but if you want our college-based scholarships, then you need to take an SAT sitting to get a score, okay? Then there are a lot of community-based scholarships. So I would encourage you to investigate your employer, church, local business, organizations. There's many search engines out there. And then also, the next bullet, many scholarship opportunities, we put them into school links as they come to us as well. Plus, we advertise them to the senior class as well. So scholarships vary. They just vary so much. Some are very specific. Some are very general. A lot of times students may pass up on them because they think they may what are my chances if a lot of people apply? But I'm telling you, it is always better to do the application process, okay? Because if you don't apply, then you know you're not getting the money for the scholarship, okay? And then a couple of search engines there, fastweb.com, scholarships.com. These are search engines where the student can put in information about themselves, and they will get emailed scholarships that meet their criteria. Financial aid is a little bit different, okay, than scholarships, although kind of they're the same in the sense of getting money for college, all right? But financial aid is really strictly based on the financial situation of the student's household, okay? It's something that basically goes through the federal government, and that is what many people know as the FAFSA, or Free Application for Federal Student Aid. So very easy to access, okay, go into FAFSA.org, and actually by the time this gets launched, this presentation, they will have launched the application for, and that on the screen you see the 2627 FAFSA application. That's not a typo. It's because the application is for the 2627 school year, which is the first year where your child will be entering into college, okay? So that should be opening should have opened on October 1st, 2025. Really the best place for questions on financial aid and the FAFSA would be to a specific financial aid office for a specific college, okay? Certainly you could ask us. We may do the same, reach out to a college to get that information, okay? A lot of times we get from our friends at RCSJ. If we have any questions, we reach out to them. But if I guess all things held equal, if you could reach out to a specific college, they're probably the best ones to be able to answer the questions about financial aid. And then just to let you know, for more information, we have some informational videos out on our guidance department page on the school website, okay? So when you go to the guidance department page, if you look, you'll see a section titled How to File Your FAFSA Application. And we got some informational videos there to help you with the process. So the NCAA Clearinghouse deals with playing sports in college, and there's a process with that, okay? So specifically playing Division I, Division II sports, okay? So if planning to play Division I or Division II sport in college, student athletes need to be cleared academically, okay, by the NCAA Clearinghouse, okay, and they're cleared on the basis of a GPA, a certain GPA on approved NCAA high school courses. So I don't want you to think that it's just the GPA that shows up on PowerSchool, okay? Because the NCAA doesn't use every course in their calculation. It is particularly just courses that have been approved by the NCAA. And essentially, if wondering what they are, it's essentially all of your major subjects: English, math, science, social studies, things like that. It does not include PE. There are a couple of academic electives that also work for that as well. Certainly, any Division I, Division II potential athletes should be working with their counselor to make sure that they have the courses they need for the clearinghouse, okay? And very important that a high school transcript must be sent to the NCAA clearinghouse at the end of junior year and senior year. Now, if all of a sudden it's like, okay, it's already past junior year, just get to us as quickly as possible. We can always send the transcript right away if the NCAA and doing Division I, Division II sports is a possibility, okay? And the last bullet there, NCAA, just to let you know, no longer requires SAT or ACT scores. It wasn't that long ago where you also had to do the SAT or ACT and there was a sliding scale, but that is no longer the case. So now it is just the high school transcript and getting a particular GPA on approved NCAA high school courses. Okay, what can you do to get the most out of your senior year? We got some tips for you. Keep a close eye on grades, very important. Sometimes, when the seniors get accepted to college, when the acceptances start coming in, they may get a little case, and especially in the spring and the summer months, of senioritis and be thinking, well, you know what, I'm already accepted to college, what's the difference, okay? Please don't do that. Or let them know not to do that, because we have to send the final transcript for the senior to the college that they're going to, okay? And if a college sees that the student kind of took a nosedive at the end of the year, there could be repercussions to that, okay? All the way up to and included, in extreme cases, taking back the admissions offer, okay? So make sure they finish strong, okay? That's an important thing. Make sure they finish strong. I've talked about this a few times. Don't let application deadlines sneak up on you, okay? Colleges are not forgiving. If they want something by March the 15th and it's March the 16th, it's too late, okay? So make sure that your child knows exactly where their college application deadlines are, okay? Especially if we're talking about an early decision, early action, which is, those come up first. Usually, I think the first ones you get are November 1st, okay? So very important. That's not all too long from now, okay? Retake the SAT or ACT. Never hurts. I don't know if I mentioned earlier, but if you take the SAT or ACT at several sittings, okay, they are going to use the highest combined score. Colleges will use the highest combined score. What I mean by that is, so let's say that your child took the SAT, let's say in May of last year, okay, and they get a certain score. They get scores math and verbal. And then they take the SAT again in November of this year, okay, and they go up in the verbal but down in the math, okay. They're going to use the math score from May and the verbal score from November as the combined score for the admissions decisions, okay? So that never really hurts. They're always going to use the highest, okay, for college admissions purposes. So we kind of recommend, especially if thinking about that four-year college piece, to retake the SAT. It just takes up a Saturday. There is a cost to it, okay, but ultimately that could put them in the best position. And then certainly please keep Mr. Fruits and Ms. Smith in the loop. This might be a good time to mention that Mr. Fruits is actually going to be going out on a paternity leave starting on October 1st, but don't worry. He will be working with all of the seniors virtually. Okay, so they're going to be able to get in touch with him. He can do anything virtually, including writing letters of rec, meeting with the students virtually, all of that, okay? So, not to worry, Mr. Fruits is still available to the seniors for all their college application and future planning needs, okay? But please keep them in the loop. If nothing else, they really want to celebrate when they see the admissions offers coming in, that students are getting accepted to college. That's a great time here in our guidance office, okay? So keep them in the loop with everything. So now, going to dates, SAT dates, that's the first one I have here for the fall and winter. So October 4th, it might be at the time of, pretty sure at the time of the release of this video that one has already happened, although we have been advertising to the senior class about that, okay? So we probably will have a few students that will have signed up already for the October 4th, but definitely the one that's here, November the 8th, okay? That one will, by the time of this video, okay, you'll still have time to register for that, all right? And that is the one that's offered here at Clayton High School. So November the 8th, okay? Again, all these dates are Saturdays. and then December the 6th, that registration by November the 21st, okay? Please make sure you check your SAT Center's website and collegeboard.org for updates related to SAT testing prior to the test date. This came in big during the COVID years where test centers were closing, all right? But it's still, even though we're past those years, it still kind of applies now. So just double check to make sure any updates prior to testing. And the ACT dates, again, you'll see that none of them conflict with the SAT dates. October 18th, that registration date would have definitely passed by now, September the 12th. December the 13th, we'd have to register by November the 7th. And then February the 14th, register by January the 9th. The ACT is not offered at Clayton High School, all right? We just don't have enough students that take it here at Clayton High School. So, but you can find these at some of the bigger schools in the area, and I think RCSJ offers the ACT for every sitting if wanting to take the ACT. Okay, same message. Make sure you check the center's website just prior to testing for any updates. And we have come to the end of this presentation. We want to thank you for viewing. Certainly we are here if you have any questions at any time, and good luck with the application process.